lights are going on then ahead of this 15-minute race for the Switch MX5 Cup by 5 Club. And the lights go out now, the race gets underway then, and it's a pretty good start by Ben Short. He's going to lead by the first corner, I think, let alone the end of the first lap, Josh. Yes, his nose is in front. Ben Short, does he lead just about? He's trying to go around the outside of Ian Tomlinson there in the burgundy-coloured car, the driver from Blackpool. And then we can't see anything because of the sun, so they will head down towards Cascades. And it is Ben Short leading, Ben Hansey second, Ian Tomlinson third, Matt Hallam fourth, Jordan Johnson fifth, and Courtney Milnes up to sixth as they go through Cascades for the first time. So you're a little bit pessimistic, actually, Josh. It only took one corner for Ben Short to get from sixth into the lead of the race.
Yeah, that was unnecessarily good, wasn't it, from Ben Short? So he leads. Hansey's made a good run too, isn't he? Because he's second, then Hallam, then Tomlinson and Johnson side by side. Courtney Milnes, like you say, she's made a good start, and Ben Abbott's gained some position too. Can Abbott get the second, I wonder? Because we know he's that bit faster than everybody else. He was in the first race. Jordan Johnson still side by side with Ian Tomlinson for fourth. And Courtney Milnes just behind. So Johnson, yeah, he's gone through. So Tomlinson's first lap has just had cars going past him, which probably isn't so much fun for him. There's Ben Abbott, so he's certainly gained a few positions there. Well, who's that? 32, way over the curves. That was Jake Micklewright. And Jeremy Richards Fletcher, who's just got past by Ryan Lovelock, who we lost at the start of race one. So good to see he's back out. And big challenges here down into the chicane there at Hislops. And some side-by-side action, a bit of rubbing, but Matthew Short, he managed to survive that, as did William Pickard, who ended up on top of that battle. And
just ahead of them, Thomas Holland was the driver that was trying to look down the inside and make a place, but that came to nothing. So Ben Short now has reared out quite a lead already over his teammate Ben Hansey in second place, Matt Hallam third, Jordan Johnson fourth. There's Ben Abbott, continues to make up ground. He's got past Adrian Johnson now, father of Jordan, as we come towards the end of this first lap in a 15-minute race, as the sun's starting to set now here at Oulton. There's Hansey, there's Hallam and Johnson going through, but it's a decent lead this for Ben Short by the end of the first lap. It's a couple of seconds, I would think, already over the rest of the field. Let's just get confirmation. Well, actually 1.73 seconds the gap on our timing screens between Short and Hansey. And he's got 2:08.86 from a standing start. The best lap in the early race was a 2:04.47, which was a lap record for Ben Short, so I'm sure he's got in mind to break his own lap record here.
There's a few people having some moments and a spin and contact into the Armco barrier, I'm afraid.
That's number 19, which is Martin Vernon, that has gone off the Blackpool driver, who is 41 years of age, but only relatively light contact with the barriers, fortunately.
Hansey's got lots of attention from behind from Matt Hallam. They're in third place as the car now trying to get into a place of safety, I think.
Or get out of where the position it's in, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, and Hallam, who was trying to get past Hansey's gone off. Ben Abbott's gone off. How good's the MX5 as a grass tracking car? Not too bad. As Martin Vernon's got back going. Hansey second, Johnson is third. Hallam way over the curves.
Not the only one.
Courtney Milnes not made any more progress, but she might be about to do so because she's drawing up alongside Ian Tomlinson. And you haven't caught Ben Abbott's. Oh, no, here you go across the grass. He's right there as well. So Hallam was the one that really lost out there. So he's lost a couple, or at least one place.
Yes, one place.
And Abbott bullies his way up alongside Ian Tomlinson. He followed Courtney Milnes through there. So that was good racecraft from Ben Abbott, and Ian Tomlinson's going to run out of road, and he's going to get back on, kicks up a few leaves, and he's now at the back of the queue.
Yeah, and he's lost some momentum there, so he might become a sitting duck for the drivers behind, which include Adrian Johnson and Lloyd Huggins and Christian Young. But there is Hansey in second, Jordan Johnson now third, Matthew Hallam is fourth, who missed a few rounds, didn't he, Matthew Hallam? But has always been there or thereabouts in the races that he has done.
Yeah, I think he was telling me he missed Donington, but he should have only done 2 meetings, and he's done a lot more.
A bit further back, that's Ben Abbott trying to make up a place on Courtney Milnes. That would be for 6th place. He's gone through.
I think she waved him through because they were a hand up the cockpit and letting him go. I guess it's quite a good plan, isn't it? Well, I think they've lost time by doing that, actually, but lots of tyre skill from the leader. I think he got through.
Yeah, well,
that's just for the Ben Short way.
Yeah, he's just broke his own lap record as well. 2:04.27 now. So he's nearly 2 seconds underneath his mark from April 2017 now.
Yeah, he's not making it a race today, is he? Sometimes we see that, but not today. But yeah, Ben Abbott, I think, was waved through by Courtney Milnes. But if anything, they lost a little bit of time by doing that, because Milnes has been quick. She's probably quicker than the cars in front, but they sort of wasted a little bit of time there. just letting Ben Abbott go through. Perhaps he's conscious as well that he's got a sort of second place to get in the championship, and she's losing a lot of time here. Perhaps not always well with her car.
Which might be why she was waving through. Yeah, possibly realising that her car was possibly not working as well as it should be. So Abbott now has latched himself onto the back of Matt Hallam in the number 44 car, and he is only just behind number 92 Jordan Johnson. Ben Hansey ahead of them. Then it's Mills. Then it's Tomlinson. 22 is Adrian Johnson, then it's Lloyd Huggins, number 14, and Tom Holland, 230, rounding out the top 10. There's the number 7 car, William Pickard, up on the inside of number 50, Christian Young, and where's Mark Argo in all of that? Was he ahead of them or behind? Didn't quite spot that. Anyway, back to this battle for third position. Abbott is now ahead of Hallam.
Yes, that's fourth now, and Jordan Johnson is next on his list. Ben Hansey's having a better race because he's been able to break away from this group this time, which he wasn't able to do. Well, he lost positions in race 1, so he's going a bit better. 4 seconds though behind the leader at the start of the lap. This is lap 3, and Johnson and Abbott nose to tail, 92 and 93, and they head then down here towards Lodge Corner. And it seems that we might have 5 Club Racing restored to Ben at the front, because Abbott's down the inside of Jordan Johnson. He broke the trend in race 1, but looks like we're getting back to normality in the championship again.
We've had it a few times, haven't we, this year? Oh, and Short's gone faster again, a 2:04.03, so he's now more than 2 seconds under his lap record. So surely his target is now to get something that has a 3 in front of it, isn't it? 2:03 something. I would think is his target. We've had 3 laps of the race now. It's number 1 Ben Short that leads by 5.5 seconds from number 40 Ben Hansey in second place. Third is number 92 Jordan Johnson. Fourth is number 93 Ben Abbott. Fifth is number 44 Matthew Hallam. And we've got yellow flags at Oulton Corner. That's because William Pickard has had a spin. He was in 14th position. We've also got one into the pit lane as well. Just to carry on, 6th Trouble 7 Courtney Milne, 7th number 9 Ian Tomlinson, 8th 22 Adrian Johnson, 9th 14 Lloyd Huggins, and 10th 230 Tom Holland.
We had spins, I don't think, to do on the exit of Old Hall. Now we've had 2 in this race.
Yeah.
It's a fair tradition of Oulton Park, isn't it? Somebody goes off on the exit of Old Hall, but I think that car's got back going because the yellow flags have been withdrawn. Battle for third place. So what's happened to Abbott here?
Good question.
Has he got past Jordan Johnson and pulled away?
Or has he fallen a bit further behind him? Let's get to this answer here. Well, he's not there, is he? He's not there, so something has happened to Ben Abbott, and he has dropped out of contention. He was in 4th place at the start of the lap, but he's had an off, or had a mechanical issue at some point around the circuit, possibly just out of our camera view. Oh, and there's the 107 car in strife, so that is Alex Wilkinson Hughes, the driver from Rugeley in Staffordshire.
The car that pitted was 50, I think, which is Christian Young from memory.
Yes, and he was just outside of the top 10, I think, at that time.
But yeah, this Ben Abbott problem, is this going to potentially cause him... Oh, there he is. He's parked up on the exit of Shell Oil. He's not sure what caused that, whether that's an incident or a problem with the car. Is this going to lose him second in the championship here?
Well, I will get the spreadsheet fired up in a minute and work all of this out for you.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, the race goes on, and Ben Short has been through to complete another lap 4 of this race, so we're probably going to get 3 more laps out of it, I think, to make it at least a 7-lap race, possibly even an 8-lap race. We'll just see how things pan out.
Yeah, we got 7 laps in the low cost. We sort of checked for about 2 seconds early, didn't we, to make it. So it's closer to a 15-minute race. Already there's a car on the back of the flatbed, so I guess that's Martin Vernon's car. So
yes, you'd think
efficiency there from our trackside staff. But we're on lap 5. Look at this battle here. That's Steve Quemby coming through the field. Remember, he retired from race 1. He's just got ahead of William Pickard, who had that spin at Old Hall at the start of the lap. Who else have we got in this? 27. That's David Brown from the pit lane. He's worked his way up the order. And 32 as well, Jake Micklewright, who we mentioned, I think, at the start of the race for having a bit of a moment over the curve. This is quite the battle. They're going to be 3 abreast heading down the avenue pretty much. And hopefully then they'll sort themselves out as they go into Cascades. However, up the road, battle for 7th between Lloyd Huggins and Thomas Holland heading down here towards the Breton chicane. They've got Marco Argam just behind the car that James and Stanley raced at Castle Combe into the top 10 of one of these races. And there's more dramas here.
That's the Wilkinson Hughes car that stopped a while ago, that part of the circuit. To answer your question, I actually think I've revised my view here, and I think that Ben Abbott had already done well for second place in the championship. Because he's not going to. This will be a drop score, as will the 2 zeros he had earlier on. So he's counting everything else, and that'll make 1,534 points. If it stays this way, Hansi after drops will be on 1,523 and Johnson 1,516 and Ben Short 1,613. So I think actually Ben Abbott probably had already wrapped up second place in the championship, and it potentially is about third, but as things stand it's Hansi ahead of Johnson, and so that's sort of panning out in championship order at the moment.
Okay, Courtney Milnes has sped up. She's quicker than all the cars ahead of her, and she's caught them again while these battles go on a little bit further back. She had caught them, she dropped away a little bit I think by the end of the lap. But here's that battle featuring William Pickard and Jake Micklewright. They're both in pass now by those 2 cars who are working their way back through the order. Both these drivers novices, you can see the novice cross on the back. It's close here into Old Hall for 7th, and Tom Holland gone round the outside of Lloyd Huggins, and he gets the position as long as he doesn't run too wide, which he doesn't. But Marco Argam has caught these 2 quite quickly on this lap. He was 3 seconds faster on the previous lap, and I think that's more because the other 2 have been battling so hard. They've all lapped in the 6s in this race, but now Holland 7th, 8th Huggins, and 9th is Argam. Yeah, so can Argam capitalise on this and make up some more places before the end of the race. Ben Short's not got any faster, by the way. 2:04.03 is still his benchmark. This is new lap record. So there's Argo in the number 31 car, the BS Motorsport car, chasing after Tom Holland and Lloyd Huggins, who is running in 7th place at the moment. They're quite a long way behind Ian Tomlinson now, who just go through shots in 6th position. Then here is the fight for 7th, 8th and 9th, just passing the stricken car of Ben Abbott on their way to Britain's on lap 6 of this race. Ian Tomlinson's a bit too quick for the rest, but not quite fast enough for the top 5, is he?
Right.
So he's having a bit of a lonely time, which isn't as much fun as everybody else is having, someone to battle. Obviously Ben Short's not had anybody to race all weekend here at Oulton Park, so he's had a lonely time out front. Here comes Huggins, he fights back round the outside, but breaks too late. He's locked up, he's taken the escape road. I think it might be the first car we've watched go down here all day.
Yeah, it's the first one that we've caught on our camera, certainly.
Sure, it's happened to somebody else, surely.
Yeah, but he continues, and as you can see, he's dropped back behind those 2 now.
Is that Sparks off the bottom of Micklewright's car as he went over the curbs?
Or was it autumn leaves? I couldn't quite work it out. Anyway, it is the side-by-side between the 2 BS Motorsport cars, and it's Marco Argam on the inside and through into Druids. So Marco Argam now goes up to 7th place. Tom Holland is 8th, and Lloyd Huggins is 9th.
Side by side across the line for 2nd briefly, but we all got sort of side by side down towards Lodge between Lloyd Huggins and Tom Holland, and it's very tight.
Marco Argam,
sorry,
Tom
yeah,
Holland,
yeah, because Huggins dropped back, didn't he, after that off? Absolutely. The 2nd place battle didn't come to anything. What about this one up towards Old Hall, Ian?
Yep, so they're over the line and into Old Hall Corner. It's Tom Holland in the red 230 car on the inside line. Argam, sweeps around the outside at Old Hall Corner. And look how Lloyd Huggins has got back into this as well. He was quite a few car lengths back, wasn't he, after that mistake at Hislop's, but he's now right back with them again as well in this fight for 7th position. Meanwhile, this is the fight for 2nd place, and Jordan Johnson is giving Ben Hansi a very hard time here. Matt Hallam right with him, and Courtney Milne seems to be getting back into things as well, after it looked like she was having problems with her car in the early stages of the race, Josh.
Yeah, she seems to speed up and then slows down again and then speeds back up again. And she's pretty much there. So for 2nd place, Hansi, Johnson, Hallam. Courtney Milne was way up on 2 wheels there, wasn't she, over the curbs. And famous Oulton Park pictures, I'm sure, will be taken over the course of the day up there. As cars very much have been launching over the coast. I think that's the highest I've seen anybody go.
Oh, and that's Marco Argam and Tom Holland side by side through Britain's themselves. And Argam's holding on, but look at this. It's Lloyd Huggins now who's trying to get back into contention. This is actually for 6th, 7th and 8th now, is it not? Yes.
7th, 8th and 9th.
Yes, 7th, 8th and 9th. I beg your pardon. Yes, I was reading the wrong line. So it's Argam and then the 14 car of Huggins now ahead of Tom Holland. So that's been a change.
You don't very often see 2 cars go side by side through Britain without one of them going off, but they managed to get through there, so good driving there. I think we're going to get one more lap in, aren't we?
Yes, there's half a minute to go. Ben Short must be approaching the line. Yeah, he's about to cross the line now with 1 second to go. Yes, the last lap board goes out, so it will be an 8-lap race for the Switch MX5 Cup by 5 Club, as the cars for this 7th place battle, headed by Marco Argam, head up towards Lodge Corner. I can see the leaders out of our window, or the 2nd place battle out of our window, heading into Old Holster with Ben Hansey ahead, but this is the fight for 7.
Yep, it's been a good battle, hasn't it? So let's hope we can get through one more lap without dramas, and these drivers are going to get well in excess of 15 minutes because that's already elapsed, because Ben Short was so far up the road they get another lap, and Huggins goes ahead of Holland, so he's lost 2 positions now in that battle. And they all respect the track limits, just go up to the curb and no further. But it's still Hansey in 2nd, Johnson 3rd, 4th Hallam, and then Courtney Milnes behind, and there's Ben Short, he still leads.
Yep, and he just passes Ben Abbott's broken down car. And he's a big lead, 7.5 seconds, but challenge on here for 3rd place. Matt Hallam trying to get alongside Jordan Johnson here, tucked back in behind there. They're coming up to the Britain chicane, left, right, and then left again. Lots more curb hopping being done, in particular by Courtney Milnes.
I wonder if John Elsie's down there and she spotted him.
Maybe she's trying to sort of do her very best to get a good quality John Elsey picture. But anyway, here they are down towards Hislops. A lock up there from Ben Hansey, gets the car turned in okay for Hislops. Out of Hislops he now comes, and through Nicker Brooks, and he's got just over, well, just a few hundred yards left to go. We should have Ben Short almost to the finish line. Yes, he's at Lodge Druids Corner now.
Not quite as far up the road as you thought he was, but
No.
he's a little way. So he is going to win again, unbeaten this year.
Oh, and a mistake there from Lloyd Huggins, but somehow still manages to come out ahead of Tom Holland after all of that, but he runs wide on the exit of the corner, so he might lose momentum. Meanwhile, the race leader, I think, is at Lodge Corner. Ben Short is going to come through to take the checkered flag, to take his 17th victory out of 17 races he started this season in the Switch MX5 Cup by 5 Club. Yep, takes the checkered flag. 2nd place goes the way of Ben Hansey from Jordan Johnson. 3rd place goes the way of treble 7 Courtney Milnes, so she's got ahead of Matt Hallam on the last lap. And then Ian Tomlinson in the background there, you could see coming home in 6th position. Just having a look at what's going on for 7th place, because that had been reasonably spicy, but actually Marco Argan reasonably comfortable in 7th, side by side for 8th over the line. Though I think it was just Lloyd Huggins that got that from Tom Holland, and it should be Adrian Johnson in the quite a further way back, another 9 seconds back, rounding out the top 10. Huggins and Holland actually given the identical lap time, so we've already seen that once during the course of the day. Some dead heats going on. That was in the MR2s, wasn't it? But Huggins and Holland, at the moment at least, have been given identical finishing times, Josh.
Yeah, so they had a really good quality race. They might have had to wait a while for it, but that battle in particular was good. Steve Quemby is still battling away here. He's starting from the back. I think his car's a bit taped up, isn't it? But he's still battling to be inside the top 20 with William Pickard. We saw them earlier side by side, but they all come up across the line. They just caught David Brown as well, who obviously started from the pit, so he did a fairly decent job.